Hey, so welcome back, or welcome if you're new. And my name's Jenny, and I'm the boss of me. And just come and ride with me while we talk about whatever little random thoughts pop into my head. So today, I was told by a viewer that United Healthcare is getting ready to lay off 30,000 employees. And they have I think it was 4,400,000 employees. So that's a lot of people, but it's not a huge portion of their workforce. And so I looked it up, and they're offering them right now a buyout to voluntarily leave. And from what I read online, the buyout is good until March 1st, and then they're going to start laying off people. And I don't really consider this, that's a lot of people, and from what I read, it was because they didn't make the profits whatever that they expected for 2024. But I'm not really that surprised that they're doing the layoff at this time of the year, because open enrollment is now completed. By the end of February, any little problems that different groups are going to have, or questions that new members might have, are pretty much resolved as far as getting into the open, the 2025 part of their coverage for their health insurance. So that part doesn't surprise me at all. And in my experience with them, I was not offered a buyout. They just kind of came in unannounced and told us what was happening, told us not to log in. Well, I knew the day before, but then each person went into a room privately with, wasn't even my direct manager, it was her boss, the person over me, who did the actual formalities of laying people off. And we got our severance package. And it was different depending on how long you were tenured with the company. That depended on what you received as your severance package. And so I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this because of course it's an internal policy, that these people are still going to get their severance package if they're entitled to one through however they're vested in the company. But one of the questions that I had, and I don't have a 100% answer on this, is are they still entitled to unemployment? And from what I could find, because that's a big question, is that it's going to depend on your state. And that's a huge question, because say you get 6 weeks of severance, but it takes you 4 months to find a job. What are you going to do in that time frame? So I don't really have a definite answer on that. But I did want to talk to you about how I handled my layoff, because I think this is important. And I'm going to talk a little bit, just briefly, about the emotional thing that went through my head. And that is, at first I was very upset. I was angry. Then I got depressed. Then I got very liberated. I started feeling very liberated. Because what I did was, after I mourned for a couple days, because I was unhappy, maybe about a week, I said, you know what, you got to get a job, right? Obviously. So you can't just be moping around the house all day long. So I got up in the morning, just like I always do, got myself dressed, made myself a lunch. I went to the library only because staying at home there was just too many distractions. People would have been bothering me. So, and I didn't go there for 8 hours, but I did go there for several hours. And I went through all the job listings, and I sent out resumes and applications, etc. And eventually I got a job, you know. And doing this was actually, I think, pretty smart. So I treated getting a job like I had a job, or this was my job. My job was to get a job, and I treated it professionally in that regard. So, you know, after a few weeks, I started getting phone calls and doing phone interviews, and, you know, and then eventually I had a couple in-person interviews. And that's how I got my job, you know, my next job. So that's my advice to you, is to treat your job search as your current job. And then the liberating part was I didn't have to go very far because I had kind of a long commute, and I didn't put in a full 8-hour day because, you know, it just wasn't worth it. So it gave me like a short work day, and I got a lot of stuff done that I didn't have time for when I was employed full time, or I didn't even necessarily have the energy for. And so, you know, I used the rest of the time to get things done around the house that I had been looking at and saying I should do that one day. Well, I got it done, and eventually I did get another job. So I just wanted to put that out there. You know, I don't know what's going to happen to these employees, 30,000. I don't think they're all going to be in one location. I think they're going to be spread out, because they have locations all over the place, and I think they're going to be spread out. But there's going to be a lot of people out in the job market looking for jobs, 30,000 people anyway, and I wish them well. And thank you for letting me know about this. I hope that, regardless of whether you work for United Healthcare or not, if you're in a situation, because I think there's probably other insurance companies that are letting people go right now, maybe other types of businesses, just take the time to lick your wounds, do whatever you have to do to get your head back where it belongs, and treat your job search like getting a job. And if you're collecting unemployment, at least in the state of Maryland where I was living at the time, occasionally somebody's going to be calling you from their unemployment office asking to verify what you've been doing, because you have to be actively looking for a job in order to collect, at least in Maryland. So keep a log of the places that you applied to and any interviews that you have, and use that time to do something that you would not have been able to do if you were currently employed. And best of wishes to everybody.